Cole Sprouse's over party was trending on Twitter over the weekend because everyone was accusing him of cheating on Lili Reinhart, his on-screen and off-screen girlfriend. Cole and Lili's relationship has been kept pretty private because they choose not to divulge very much personal information about their lives. I guess fans just sort of take it upon themselves to create narratives about their life. This is what caused many to believe that their relationship was on the rocks because people started rumors that they weren't together anymore multiple times. Then in the February issue of Allure magazine, Lili Reinhart referred to Cole Sprouse as her boyfriend, which made people think that the speculation into their relationship was over, but it wasn't. No. Fans thought something might have been up when Lili deleted several Instagram pictures featuring her and Cole. Also, apparently her mom and her sister unfollowed him on social media. Then when fans thought that Cole wasn't isolating with Lili and instead was isolating at the same place in LA with model and friend Kaia Gerber, well, Cole is currently staying at his house in LA while Lili is in Vancouver. There were photos circulating that seemed to show Cole and Kaia isolating together. As a result, fans leaked his address and sent him death threats. Cole then released this statement on Instagram stories. "I tolerate a lot of rumors and slander from people online claiming to be my fans. Fans who feel entitled to my privacy precisely because I never indulged them. But attacking my friends, baseless accusations, leaking my address, and sending death threats are all qualities of insanity and fanaticism. Choose humanity, stop being clowns. When I first stepped into a public relationship, this was one of the foreseeable consequences. And while I truly never intended to indulge any part of my private life to ravenous horde, it's clear my restraint in updating them has allowed them to push their own agenda onto my habits and lifestyle. So in conclusion, please eat my delectable plump making me post a goddamn white font Insta story like a twice divorced mother of three. As someone who is probably going to be a twice divorced mother of three, I am offended." And Lili Reinhart has also spoken out and she's sticking by her boyfriend. In deleted posts, Lili said this: "Twitter is such a vile place. It's so easy to say shit behind your phone, isn't it? This is why people choose to keep their relationships private. This is why people don't have social media, because of this bullying." She added, "Please reassess yourself and your ego before you send another tweet into the abyss. It's easy to criticize someone and spew hate because it makes you feel like you have some sort of power over them. Truth is, you don't. Saying you hate someone or don't like them gives you absolutely no power over them." It's definitely a fact. Speaking facts over here, Lili. According to a source that spoke to E! News about this drama, Cole and Lili's relationship is always up and down, but they do talk every day and care about each other. They have been trying to keep their relationship more low-key. It turns out that the photos of Cole and Kaia at Cole's house are old. The same source confirmed that Cole and Kaia are just friends and have never been romantic.
People refer to the couple as Bughead, obviously a reference to the character both actors play on Riverdale, Jughead and Betty. Honestly, with a name like that, they probably should have come to terms it was never going to work. And over the course of their relationship, the two have been quite vocal on social media, mostly mocking rumors that they split up. But this time it seems they have officially called it quits, although reps for both Sprouse and Reinhardt have yet to comment. A source told People magazine that although the two frequently appear to be on and off again, as of now, they have officially split. The split comes just a month after Sprouse openly told anyone on his Instagram story that he would not be tolerating all the hate he was getting amidst rumors that he had cheated on Reinhardt at the time. Nobody likes a cheater, especially at Monopoly. If I ever play Monopoly with any of you guys, and I find out that you are like the banker and you're taking money, I'll just Sprouse wrote, I quote, "When I first stepped into a public relationship, this was one of the foreseeable consequences. And while I truly never intended to indulge any part of my private life to the ravenous horde, it's clear my restraint in updating them has allowed them to push their own agenda onto my habits and lifestyle. So in conclusion, please eat my delectable plump ass." Just makes me laugh every time I read it. This was after Sprouse had allegedly received death threats, writing in his story, I quote, "But attacking my friends, baseless accusations, leaking my address, and sending death threats are all qualities of insanity and fanaticism. Choose humanity, stop being clowns." He specifically referred to those people claiming to be his fans that were slandering him online or acting out because he wasn't responding to them personally. However, around the same time, a source told E! News, I quote, "Lili and Cole are still together. They haven't been in quarantine together, but haven't split. Their relationship is always up and down, but they do talk every day and care very much about one another. Lili and Cole have been trying to be more low-key." And the lady people accused Cole of cheating on Lili with, Kaia Gerber, apparently is just an old friend. The source explained, I quote, "The photos of Kaia at Cole's house are old. Cole and Kaia are just friends and have never been romantic," end quote. Now, I'm not here to make any accusations, guys, but it seems the two haven't been in quarantine together, and that started back in March or so. So it's been 2 months they haven't, or at least shouldn't have been seeing each other, and this is also around the time that Cole was accused of cheating. I mean, look guys, it could be the truth and maybe just some PR work so stuff on the Riverdale set doesn't get messy, or it could be tabloids just trying to sell. Either way, it seemed the two tried to make it work and couldn't, with a source explaining last summer when they had a previous split, I quote, "Their personalities are very different and their lifestyles often clashed." The source went on to say that the two were trying to be as amicable and friendly as possible.
So the revelation that someone was posing as the actress came to light on Friday when 17 posted a public apology to Lili, saying, quote, "Today we briefly published a story with information that we were led to believe was from Lili Reinhart. However, it was brought to our attention that the person who contacted us was in fact an impersonator and had no connection to the Riverdale star." Adding, quote, "We want to sincerely apologize to Lili and our fans for this unfortunate situation. We reacted swiftly by removing the story from our website and regret the erroneous reporting." Reinhardt shared the statement to her Instagram and added the comment, quote, "For some bizarre reason, someone impersonated me for an interview with 17. Nothing inappropriate was said, but those were not my words and I wanted to address it." But apparently now that this story has started to pick up steam, other news outlets are realizing that they might have also been duped by that same imposter. Talk about real life Among Us. A reporter from the Daily Express who wrote an article on Reinhardt was forced to make a statement admitting that he had been duped as well, saying, quote, "It's been brought to my attention that the interview I shared with Lili Reinhart was fake, and someone has been impersonating Lili and her publicist. Obviously, I'm embarrassed and quite disturbed and sincerely apologize to anyone who was misled by the article," adding that he hopes the apology will reach Lili and her team. Apparently, the imposter not only posed as Lili, but also her publicist, making the whole thing more believable. At this time, it's unknown who the impersonator is, but now I just have so many questions, like how did this person sound like Lili? Because I assume celebrities communicate through like vocal interview these days, right? Like usually a phone call or Zoom call maybe. I mean, maybe she used a voice changer or she just happens to sound a lot like Lili. Also, I would love to know what the comments were that the imposter shared, because now that they took down the articles, we have no way of knowing. Thankfully, as Lili said, it was nothing inappropriate, because I mean, they could have started some scandals if they really wanted to. One article said that the fake Lili commented on the new Riverdale season and gave some hints that Betty and Archie might be getting back together in the upcoming season. So clearly this person is a huge fan that knows a lot about the show. Honestly, I have a theory this person could be like a former employee of the publicist or something, because how else would they know all the information that they would need to know about Lili to dupe people into thinking that they're her, right? Unless it's just really easy to get all that information and like get into contact with these people, I don't know.
If you've been on the internet this week, it's no doubt that you've seen images swirling around the internet of all of the celebrities who graced the Met Gala this year. While all of the stars who ended up on the carpet definitely made a statement, one of the most talked about and controversial appearances was, of course, Kim Kardashian. The theme of the gala this year was gilded glamour, which meant that many stars were headed back into the fashion archives to pay homage to styles and aesthetics of the past. Instead of taking it way back in time, Kim wowed everyone when she showed up in the gown that Marilyn Monroe wore when she sang Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy at his birthday party back in 1962. Kim had dyed her hair blonde before the event in order to complete the look and had a fur stole that also is said to have belonged to Monroe. Kim is said to have borrowed this dress from Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, and since it belongs to the museum, she wasn't allowed to have the dress altered in any way. Kim only wore the piece for a few minutes before changing into a replica gown, but for those few minutes, she claimed to have spent weeks losing 16 pounds in order to fit into the dress. Clearly, some people weren't happy with Kim's decisions, as was made clear in a series of Instagram posts by Riverdale star Lili Reinhart. She didn't name any names, but she wrote, quote, "To walk on a red carpet and do an interview where you say how starving you are because you haven't eaten carbs in the last month, all to fit into an effing dress." She continued on saying, quote, "So wrong, so effed on hundreds of levels." Kim had explained that while she didn't starve herself, she was very strict in her diet and workout routine leading up to the event. This clearly didn't sit well with Reinhardt, who also wrote, quote, "To openly admit to starving yourself for the sake of the Met Gala, when you know very well that millions of young men and women are looking up to you and listening to your every word. The ignorance is otherworldly, disgusting." Reinhardt has attended the gala herself in the past, in 2018, 2019, and in 2021, but she didn't end up attending this year. She finished her posts by saying, quote, "Please stop supporting these stupid, harmful celebrities whose entire image revolves around their bodies. I am not generally an angry person, but I swear to God, the toxicity of this industry sometimes really gets to me."
Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about Hailey Bieber's racist tweets that have just been uncovered. Cara Delevingne finally opening up about her substance issues, and the insanely cringy Cole Sprouse interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast. First up, in the ongoing feud between Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, fans have made it abundantly clear who they support. And surprise, surprise, it's not Justin Bieber's wife Hailey. She's been exposed for being a mean girl, a bully, and something that's even worse these days, a nepo baby. But now she's just been exposed for something else. Fans have found evidence that makes it seem as though she might also be racist. People had been doing a deep dive into her old Twitter and Tumblr posts, with hopes of finding something shocking, and they definitely found what they were looking for. They posted screenshots of tweets and Tumblr posts dating back years that showed examples of Hailey using the N-word casually, claiming that she came back from Florida a different race, and using language associated with racism against the Asian community. In a tweet from January 2012, she wrote, "Shut up before I smack you back to your own country." And then in November of 2013, she wrote, "To those foreigners who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so sorry your country didn't have pilgrims and Indians to start such a sick holiday." Yeah, that's pretty indefensible. Shortly after, most tweets mentioning her past were deleted, and Hailey decided to close her Twitter account altogether. Celebrities often forget that you can find literally everything on the internet these days, and obviously her past eventually came back to bite her. In fact, fans have discovered a whole lot more since then, and most of it is pretty embarrassing. Recently, there's been evidence posted that proves that she was a hardcore Justin Bieber fan for years before they got together. In fact, she would often tweet about his relationship with Selena and how much she shipped them as a couple. In a deleted tweet from 2012, she wrote, "I don't care what anyone says, but Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez together is the definition of a teenage dream." Soon after that, a video resurfaced online from 2012 that shows Hailey lurking in the background while Justin met with fans. She was in the crowd trying to get close to him, as if she was just another fan waiting her turn. This is pretty strange, considering that they were first introduced in 2009, so at the time of the video they would have met before. These days, the couple's every move has been watched more than ever, and so many people are convinced that they have a toxic relationship. In 2020, Justin got a ton of flack from fans in a paparazzi video that went viral. In that shocking clip, the singer pulls up in a black chauffeured SUV. As he got out of the car, he looked visually annoyed, as if he's just had some kind of meltdown. Without looking back, he carelessly slams the door in Hailey's face. Then in 2021, fans were shocked when a video went viral of Hailey making Justin physically uncomfortable. The two of them were doing a live stream of some kind when an awkward moment broke out. In the video, Justin could be seen sitting down casually while Hailey was standing behind him with her arms crossed. She then tries to be affectionate and puts her arms around him, which makes him visibly annoyed. He says, "Babe, I can't. Don't touch me right now. I just need some space." To be fair, he is trying to be nice about it and communicate with her honestly, but in terms of his body language, you can tell that he's not loving the way he's being touched. Now, obviously every relationship is different and every couple has different boundaries with each other, but a lot of people felt that Hailey was straight up disrespecting his. Either way, these little moments of tension don't necessarily mean that the couple are having issues, because we still have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. So for now, it's all just speculation. Moving on, Cara Delevingne is finally speaking out about her battle with substance use and sobriety. If you didn't know, last year was a crazy time for her. She checked herself into rehab after paparazzi photos of her at Van Nuys Airport went viral. These pictures were extremely concerning when they started circulating around social media. Cara looked very disheveled, and there was a video taken of her behaving erratically while pacing around the car park. She was seen dropping her phone several times, shaking, and generally unable to stand still. Now, Cara says those photos became a source of overwhelming shame and the wake-up call that she desperately needed. In a new interview for the April cover of Vogue, the model opened up about that chaotic incident. Apparently, she had just come back from Burning Man after a summer of intense partying for days on end. She said, "It's heartbreaking because I thought I was having fun, but at some point it was like, okay, I don't look well. You know, sometimes you just need a reality check." So in a way, those pictures were something to be grateful for. At that time, Cara was at the end of her rope. Soon after lockdown started in 2020, she and her girlfriend Ashley Benson broke up, and without any acting work, she started to feel incredibly isolated. Quote, "I just had a complete existential crisis. All my sense of belonging, all my validation, my identity, everything was so wrapped up in work. And when that was gone, I felt like I had no purpose. Instead of taking the time to really learn something new or do something new, I got very wrapped up in misery, wallowing, and partying." But even after lockdown ended, she continued to party heavily because she wanted to escape that and change her reality. But things reached a head in the spring of 2022 when her grandmother passed away. She went to the Met Gala soon after and got blackout at the after party, even though she had to go to the funeral literally the next day. At the Billboard Music Awards in May, she wound up being one of the most talked about guests that night because of her bizarre behavior. Cara was seen making strange faces and lurking behind Megan Thee Stallion. Later that night, when Megan was called out as the winner of the female rap artist category, it looked like Cara Cara was invading her personal space by sticking her tongue out near her face and fiddling with her dress as she stood up to receive her award. Not long after this, a video surfaced online showing Megan and Doja chatting away in their seats before Cara literally sticks her head between them. There were so many memes created of that moment, but no one could really figure out why she was behaving that way. Fast forward to August when Cara turned 30. She started to realize that her hardcore lifestyle was not actually sustainable, and she knew that something had to give. Quote, "There was this need for change, but I was fighting it so much. I was welcoming this new time, but I was also grieving. And so I decided I was going to party as hard as I could because this was the end." But by the next month, she decided that she really needed help if she was going to turn a new page. She reached out to her old friends who came to her for support. This is when photos were taken of Margot Robbie and Poppy Delevingne crying after leaving her house. Her journey towards sobriety certainly hasn't been easy, but it's also helped her realize a lot about her internal struggles. She said, "People want my story to be this after-school special where I just say, oh look, I was an addict and now I'm sober and that's it. It's not as simple as that. It doesn't happen overnight." Cara claims that she first experimented with alcohol at the age of 7 during a family wedding. In the next 3 years, she was diagnosed with insomnia and dyspraxia, and after suffering a mental breakdown at the age of 15, she was prescribed antidepressants. Even though she avoided therapy for 3 years, she was determined to make a change, so she went to rehab at the end of last year. She's since enrolled in a 12-step program and believes that the community made a huge difference to her. In the end, she realized that a lot of what she was missing from her life was real human connection. There's no doubt that she has a long road ahead of her, but she's clearly determined to get better. And now, have you guys listened to Cole Sprouse's interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast? A lot of people are saying that it's cringe and difficult to sit through, and that's mainly because it feels like a massive overshare. Before starting, Cole asks Alex Cooper if he can smoke inside her home. She agrees, and he spends most of the hour-long interview holding the cigarette and dabbing it in an ashtray. The 30-year-old actor got super candid about a lot of things. He talked about his relationship with Lili Reinhart and said, "I think if I had loved myself a little more, I probably would have left the relationship a little earlier." Apparently, the two of them felt a lot of pressure during their romance. Even though he said the breakup was mutual, he insisted that he was the one who left and said, "I should have been more selfish at different points in the relationship." Cole said, "It just felt like I had to take care of a lot of people around me, which was not good for me. I probably should have exercised a bit more selfishness in that situation. To be honest, when you're in a relationship for that long and someone leaves, it's not a surprise. It was time." He admitted that continuing to work with Lili on Riverdale after they broke up was really hard for both of them. Cole said, "It was hard to suspend the way that we felt about each other, and it didn't afford us the luxury of distance to really overcome that. I know we both did quite a bit of damage to each other." When asked about whether he's ever been cheated on, he said, "Yeah, by almost every single one of my girlfriends. Emotionally, yes, very, very much. And my first girlfriend, physically." Although he insisted that he doesn't blame anyone for anything because he has his own flaws in relationships. Cole also shared the very cringy story about how he lost his V card at 14. He said he was on family vacation in Florida when he met an older girl. Apparently they were on the beach when he turned to her and said, "Are you DTF?" Which is absolutely hilarious that he would even admit something like that. But most people who watched the interview thought that he actually came off a little pretentious. At one point, Cole refers to fame and financial excess as an elected trauma. He also said a bunch of other questionable things, like, "We should evaluate the history based on the historian." He talked about the fact that he was an atheist while nearly all of his Disney co-stars were Christian, so for some reason he would challenge them to intellectual debates. If anything, the way he talked about that time in his life made him sound like a bit of a bully. Meanwhile, his brother was even worse. Cole straight up said, "Dylan specifically was a huge bully. He would beat them up, and then I became known as the twin that would come up and be like, 'I'm so sorry for my brother, I apologize.'" That confession is really interesting, because a lot of people grew up watching The Suit Life of Zack and Cody, but no one would have guessed they were so much like their characters in real life. If you didn't know, Cole played Cody, who was the shy nerdy type, and Dylan played Zack, who was the show's bad boy. So that's what makes this interview all the more jarring. In fact, it seems like the whole internet is ripping it to shreds. One person wrote, "Cole Sprouse has the energy of the worst person you met in your intro to philosophy class." So many fans were calling him out for airing dirty laundry about his relationship with Lili, despite the fact that she hasn't spoken about him at all since they broke up in 2020. Someone tweeted, "Call Her Daddy podcast is so nasty. Like, first they invite Hailey Bieber to talk for 45 minutes about Selena. Now they invite Cole Sprouse to talk about his relationship with Lili Reinhart. Jobless people for real." But the best part about all of this is how much people were making fun of the unnecessary smoking. Because after all, couldn't Cole just wait 1 hour until the podcast was over? One user wrote, "Cole Sprouse is so funny. Bro sitting indoors smoking a cigarette on Call Her Daddy as if he's Mark Twain and not the worst actor on a bad teen drama." Which is hilarious because every time that someone wants to insult him now, all they have to do is bring up the fact that he's in Riverdale. I mean, the the writing on that show is a complete joke in itself. It's not that he's a bad actor, but let's face it, playing Jughead Jones was never going to win him any awards. Now that even his longtime fans are switching up on him, it kind of makes you wonder, was the interview really that bad?